Now, please welcome our moderator of this session, Architect Yvonne Leigh, Associate Director, Leigh and Orange. Please also join me in welcoming our panelists to the stage for the panel discussion. They are Engineer C.S. Ho, Chief Executive Officer, Beam Society Limited; Mr. Dennis Wu, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director, AEC Group; Dr. Jason Zhe, Associate Director, Burohappold International Hong Kong Limited; and Mr. Patrick Ho, Head of Sustainable Development, Swire Properties Limited. Architect Leong, over to you, please.
Hello, section 2 will be start soon. Yeah. Well, maybe we can start right now. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to John section 2. I think you have already learned section 1 talking about infrastructures in Belt and Road countries. So these sections will concentrate on sustainable built environment and development. Yeah. So we are really great to have Dennis and also CS, Patrick, and Jason. So maybe we can kickstart. Start from CS. CS, you are the CEO of Beam Society Limited.
Yes, still.
Yeah, still. Some people say that to have green building and green building assessment is really expensive to have a cost. Can you elaborate, like, is it a cost or actually an investment? Yeah.
Okay, perhaps I answer this question in this way. I try to associate with what we are doing, all right? Most of you, if not all of you, have children, I think. And I was told to raise the children, from a baby to a university graduate costs you $4 million. Do you consider that as a consumption or consider as an investment?
4 million, like more than 10 years ago's assumptions,
yeah,
right?
It could be 5 million today. So therefore, whenever everybody asks me about, say, doing green building, would they spend more money? I say yes. Right? When you raise your children, I think you are very happy to spend more and more money on your children to make sure they get the best education. This is exactly the same concept as green building. So I always say green building is not a consumption, it is an investment. Some people say you're invested in the next generation. I say no, you are investing in your current generation. Now, looking at what happened now around us, the problem is already up to our ears. The climate, every year we say, this year we have the highest number of hot spells during the summer and so on. So I think this will become, I would say, a norm. Every year we say more and more. So therefore I say you're not saving your next generation, you're saving our generation. And more, so is, you look at, I would say, the benefit that you bring from the green building, I think it's numerous. Simply put, I know that one of the big enterprises in Hong Kong, and they raised, I think, 500 million to actually improve the energy consumption in their shopping centers around Hong Kong. In actual fact, that means they do not even spend even a cent, but they generate benefit because every year the amount of electricity that means the amount of energy bill they reduce is actually more than the interest they pay out, and also past the principal. So therefore, in other words, nowadays, I mean, the green money is abound in the world because I'm also doing green money. Just now doing before the break, I told one of the professors here in the room, I say, well, I'm also doing green finance. No, not because we are particularly competent, but because the trend is here. So the moment Hong Kong is the biggest green financial hub in Asia, and one of the biggest one in Hong Kong, in the world. And fortunately, we are actually being a member of that particular, I would say, game. So up to now, I think over the last 6 years, we already, I would say, audit about what? 1.6 trillion worth of, I would say, amount of green money already. So you can see that the investors, they are not stupid. So when they give you green money, they eye on not just, I would say, all the CSR to the community, but rather they are also mindful on the amount of money they are going to generate from that particular investment. So therefore, all the experts already told you it is not a consumption, it is an investment. Sorry for going too long, no? Because this is a misconception about, I would say, the green building and green initiative. So therefore, I think it's worth the time to elaborate more, I would say, to clarify, I would say, what is really green.
We
Thank
have
you.
10 minutes for this section. Yes, still have one question for you, two questions for you. Yeah. So I understand BIMPA's global version already launched last year. Do you think it will help our projects in barren and low countries?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know that many people, again, has a misconception about the BEAM. The BEAM is I would say, the very good green building assessment tool developed in Hong Kong by, I would say, the expert and also the professional in Hong Kong. In actual fact, you look at the basic, the fundamental, it is an international tool. It's very much like when you're talking about how high you are, how is the weight, you're talking about kg, talking about meter. So therefore, the whole thing, the Green Plus manual already is international based. And number two, in actual fact, the green tool we developed is the second earliest in the world. So the first one is a BM pioneered by UK, I think back to 1992, and followed by Hong Kong. Actually, in 1995, the formal launching is 1996. And then you see the lead of United States, which is actually, if I remember correctly, 1998. In Singapore, we're talking about the year 2005. So we are a pioneer. So we are not copycat, but rather we actually showcase the Hong Kong get the professional to do things in advance of many parts of the world. So we do it, and based on international standard, because Hong Kong is always an international city. But because of this, over the years, perhaps, I mean, some people say we are already sufficient sort of business in Hong Kong already. So we seldom go out, except once or twice. But now, this is actually, we are instructed by the Hong Kong government. Back the year 2019, they say, you have to go out to sell the best thing to the rest of the world, and not just to generate benefit and profit, but rather we want to contribute Hong Kong as a contributor on green to the rest of the world. And based upon that directive, we go out. So the moment we already go as far as to the eastern side of Africa and also to part of Russia and so on and so forth. So therefore we have projects, but not too numerous, because to put it this way, perhaps we are just too humble. Hong Kong people, most of you are very humble. And you never know how good you are. And just as mentioned by the professor, CEO, he told us, he did some sort of research. In actual fact, the professional Hong Kong overview, I would say the cream of the cake in the world. So therefore, it's not time for humble, but time for contribution. I think we'll do more. Based upon that, we already successfully, I would say, roll out our BIM tool to the rest of the world, and particularly, we already succeed to actually customize our tool and put it in Shanghai, in Shenzhen, which is the first, I would say, the cornerstone. So we try to make it what we call in China debut. 底标对不起我的普通话很糟糕my 普通话 is not too good, but I hope you can understand. That's what I say, which is a local standard already. And therefore, in future, when you go to Shanghai, you want to develop something, they will say, well, in front of you, you have two tools. One is a 3-star, the native system of China, which is very good. I'm putting it this way. But with that one, of course, as I say, they speak 普通话. Our system is speaking an international language. Both of them are very good, except it's about, I would say, the language you use, the term we use, and so forth. So therefore, this is the model we want to roll out. So thank you very much for giving me a chance to actually sell what we are doing. But finally, before I end, and every time when I see people like you and go out or whatever, I always say this. I come here not for business. I come here just for the opportunity to offer our service, because we are non-profit making. So no matter how much money I make, I only make myself very busy and nothing else. And the rest go to the community. So this is our positions.
Thank you, CS. You gave us a lot of confidence to work on it. Another question. Yeah. What's the role can Hong Kong play in capacity development for green building professionals in these regions?
Well, yes. First of all, charity starts at home, right? So therefore, we try to do capacity building. You look at the VMO, the vision, mission, and objective statement of the BIM Society, you can see that. Actually, we have 3 core sort of, I would say, mission statement. The first one, of course, is the development of the green building standard and application of standard, and then we try to induce our whole community to go green. The second thing is we know that Even we develop a very good manual, good system, you need somebody knowing how to use it. So therefore, capacity building is one of the 3 core, I would say, business of ours. So we do a lot of education in Hong Kong, perhaps in this way. And all the BIM professional is actually educated by us. And then we actually put them into examination, very formal examination. The examination is conducted by the Hong Kong Examination Authority. And they pass, and then they become a BIM professional with greater credential. At the same time, we also roll out our education outside Hong Kong. For example, we already go as far as go to Beijing to conduct our course so that we can actually attract more people to advance the common course as we do. And also in Hong Kong, we already succeeded to actually convince 7 tertiary education institutions, including Hong Kong U, CU, and so on. And we have 8 programs which already have the green building element incorporated in the program. So once they actually leave the school with the credential given by the university, they also get a credential from us. So they become the BIM affiliate. So by doing this, we want to get more friends working with us. And then we work together to promote green. So this is the missions of the BIM Society. So therefore, in case any one of you, any institution, whether it's an education institution or whatever, you want us to give you some sort of capacity building sort of service, by all means, give me a shout. And we will lock your door right away.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sias. So the second, maybe I can invite Patrick to share with us. Patrick is the head of sustainable development in Swire. So we understand Swire has a lot of projects in barren world countries. Can you share about the project with us? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Yvonne. That is a good question. But just want to get back to CS about how important it is for BIM Plus to go global. I guess Swire Properties has been also supporting the great work of CS team. And back in 2024, we signed an MOU with BIM Society, right, to promote BIM Plus global version outside of Hong Kong. And subsequently, we as a pilot, we submitted our Taikoo Hui Guangzhou, Taikoo Hui Guangzhou. Okay, for a formal assessment. And during the process, we work very closely with BIM Society. And, you mentioned about adaptation is important. And a part of that is that the energy assessment criteria, which is, very different maybe from Hong Kong and Guangzhou market. So we actually, did some work to refine the criteria, make it more applicable for the local market. And we're very happy, recognized by BIM Society, and Guangzhou Taikoo Hui become the first commercial project to receive a final platinum rating of under BIM Plus existing global version 1.0. And I'm congratulating for the great work. I guess this is back to Nicholas, the Commissioner of Belt and Road Works. I guess this is a lot to sell. Actually, a lot of soft power, and in terms of sustainability, green buildings, I think the market players here in the room is also, together we can actually, tell a very good Hong Kong story. And okay, but back to your question about, why is sustainability a core feature in real estate development? I guess I think it's becoming, for our industry, real estate is no longer just a nice to have currently in the competitive market, but sort of a fundamental business imperative, I would say. This is one of the key drivers in creating long-term resilient value. These are the keywords also mentioned a lot by the previous panels. And the rationale is very clear and also coming to multiple perspectives. I think, first of all, sustainable buildings, simply put, they are superior high-quality assets. They are of common quality if you are sustainable buildings. And a focus on sustainability actually drives business value from multiple angles. For example, it helps us achieve operational efficiency, and also in commercial, and in particular in the office segment in big cities, it attracts and retains high-quality tenants, okay, that guarantee your returns, and also diversify access to sustainable financing, which is also a topic, raised by CS, and the former panels. And it helps us, Swire Properties as well. 70% of the financing are now coming from green financing. A lot of them actually, attributed to the green building development, energy efficiency work, climate adaptations, you name it. And even, in terms of workforce, it's also part of why drive people to have the passion to the job and daily job, because there's this passion here for sustainability that go beyond day-to-day works. So we see that's playing out well in the market as well, and we have seen a lot of industry studies here in Asia and Hong Kong shows that occupiers are increasingly willing to pay a premium for certified green buildings, especially the office markets. And while some properties that fail to meet these ESG credentials, sometimes they would encounter so-called brown discount in the form of reduced rents, or poor, sort of rental rate. But for Swire properties, sustainability goes beyond just technical specifications and market premiums. It's about building a communities with longevity. So we see things long-term. As a long-term property owner and manager, we normally, at least hold and own the properties for, 60 years or beyond. We think about how our development will perform not just next year, but in 20, 30, 50 years throughout the whole building life cycle. So how we future-proof our projects with sustainable design, resilient infrastructure, and premium quality is what creates enduring value. And the philosophy is at the heart of our expansion into Southeast Asian market, that back to the topic of Belt and Road. I think it's in the region integral to the whole Belt and Road initiative by the government. And I can also tell, a key focus of, 2 years ago, we announced a 100 billion Hong Kong dollars investment plan for Swire properties. We are actively pursuing residential project opportunities in 4 target markets in Southeast Asia, namely Singapore, Jakarta, Ho Chi Minh City, and Bangkok. And in these new markets, I would say we're actually able to leverage our track record from that we built in Hong Kong and Chinese mainland. So we don't just construct buildings, we create vibrant and sustainable communities where people and businesses can thrive. As you can see in Hong Kong, Taikoo Place, Pacific Place communities, and in China, we have the Taikoo Li and Taikoo Hui development in China, which have been very successful. So we want to actually repeat that success in these markets. And this approach is proven to be pretty, work very well. So in our office and retail portfolio, sustainability creates a real competitive edge. And corporate tenants actively seek out high-performance certified green buildings with landlord support programs. And we also deepen this partnership by providing tenants with a lot of programs and green tours like smart energy metering and performance dashboard that's automating, how these tenants can actually manage their own ESG performance and bring improvement over time. And for, as I mentioned, in Southeast Asia, our core strategy for the moment is on residential. And we are seeing, for residential buyers in cities like Bangkok and Jakarta, especially in the luxury residential segment, these buyers are indeed seeking high-quality properties that align with their values and that desire for a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And something residential homes like that can protect the investment for the long term. So the market increasingly also value features like that promote well-being in particular. And study confirmed that access to green spaces can actually positively impact the residential property values. So to conclude, sustainability is core because this is the sort of engine for value creation, risk mitigation, and community well-being. So our experience now being applied at Belt and Road countries in Southeast Asia proves that this long-term sustainable model is not just a philosophy. I think it's a successful business strategy that resonates with the tenants, buyers, and the market at large. Thank you.
So, okay, Patrick, when you mentioned about not only build the buildings or developments, also including community. Yep. So for building assessment tool, which one you apply for? Like for community.
Yeah,
and then, for example, like BEAM Plus neighborhood, lead communities, and also the framework such as TNFD, etc.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your question linked to all these three types very well, very nicely.
Yeah,
and for BEAM Plus neighborhood, we're actively exploring, but currently we hope to have a first one in future. But on LEAD, the USGBC LEAD communities, we do have a project that is, I think it's the first project being certified by LEED community standard, platinum level. That is basically our Taikoo Place development project. So this project actually plays very heavily on things on beyond just buildings. So you can imagine in Taikoo Place, if you've been there are already now 10 office building, 10 grade A office building. They are all certified to BEAM Plus Platinum, LEED and well certified. They are really satisfying sort of the office tenants demand. But at the same time, these buildings are not working in silo. they are connected by a lot of infrastructure. One of those is the sort of the climate control walkways. If you now go to Taikoo Place, you exit from Korea Bay Station, you can then go into Taikoo Place, and very easily you can walk to Taikoo Shing or Taikoo MTR station without any sweat. Okay, because this is sort of a air climate control air walkways. Even under extreme weather, it's very safe and a pleasant journey to walk around. So I think this connection is very important. When you assess under the LEAD communities sort of framing assessment scheme, and also another important area and the sort of assessment criteria is the amenities. For example, the green space that you can allow to introduce. So 2 years ago, we introduced the Taikoo Square and Garden, which is a very expensive, not expensive. I mean wide, not not expensive. 70,000 square feet green open space. That has two concepts. Basically, help us to promote urban biodiversity, connect the local biodiversity with the country parks that is just 5 minutes walk from Taikoo Place, and at the same time also help improve the region's, the district microclimate, addressing climate resilience and improving the air quality. So under the LEAD communities, I think Taikoo Place and Taikoo Square and Garden, these were very highly recognized by that building, sort of green communities level green labeling schemes. So things on integrated planning, green spaces, conservation, transportation, connectivity, and accessibility. These are all infrastructural investment that, they are all essential components, and that support go beyond building level certifications for individual buildings in Taikoo Place. And speaking of green space, this naturally connects with your third framework that you mentioned is about TNFD. So just in case you know, TNFD stands for Task Force on Nature Financial Disclosure. It's this framework launched 2 years ago, and now become a very important sort of framework for companies to start to assess and evaluate and report on the risks and opportunities related to the business impact and dependencies on nature. So this framework actually gives us a very science-based approach actually to understand our relationship with nature. So it moves just beyond not just risk, okay, but highlighting the opportunities nature presents to a company. So I think the pandemic, right, underscore a very huge demand for green space and good air quality. So features like green space, green roof, and the Taikoo Square that I just mentioned are highly desirable tenants. So that's giving developers like us our competitive advantage if we can make this strategic investment in these components. So and a lot of studies showing that the proximity to green space can actually increase property value by 8 to 20%. I think that's further emphasizes the benefits of integrating nature elements or biophilic design into the developments. And at the same time, these green space also back to the previous online speaker talks about nature-based solutions. I guess it's more important that how we perceive the value of the ecosystem services bring by green space to help us address climate resilience against the extreme weather. That will become more and more important under the growing extreme weather events.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. That's very nice that you mentioned about the Taikoo, the link. It's really wonderful. Yeah, I enjoy it very much. So the next one should be, can I pass to Jason? Jason is the Associate Director of Buroh. Buroh is a renowned engineering firm. And then we understand you have a project like a Singapore Changi Airport. There are a lot of sustainable energy engineering strategies. Can you share with us about the strategies to keep the climate resilience?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Yvonne. And thank you, CS and Patrick, for sharing such a good insight to us. Changi Airport is one of the quite successful projects around the world, I can say. As an engineer, we actually, our vision or our mission is actually turning the vision into reality. Yeah. So not just we are helping the architects to enable the architecture to be built successfully, but we are actually helping them to build a better place. Like what Patrick earlier saying, not just we have a piece of place, but we are actually creating a community for people to enjoy. And Changi Airport is good in terms of energy saving, carbon saving, but beyond that, we are actually doing placemaking. So successful placemaking is actually enabling the people to have a safe, bright, and enjoyable place for people to to have the social activities inside. So it creates a vibrant cities, and as what CS taught earlier, we are creating debut, some iconic building that attract people to go to their cities just for that. So some studies saying that, okay, before COVID and after COVID, actually Changi Airport, just because of its beautiful architecture, design, and really spacious and bright kind of interior environment with biophilic design. The people just went there to take a photo, to post it in the Instagram, and it actually changed our behavior to airport. Normally, we go to airport is just to take the flight, but now the people go to Changi Airport is, okay, they don't mind spending 2-3 hours in that airport just to take more photos, just to explore how indoor environment can create the better kind of environment for them to have joy, to have social activities, or even they want to spend more time shopping in the airport. And but engineering actually in that project particularly play an important role in terms of, as I said, turning the vision into reality in terms of, because, okay, giving you some numbers, the Changi Airport, one end to the other end is actually 200 meters. And there is basically low columns within that space. Yeah, it is not visible, but actually we hide some columns behind, and we actually make use of the oculus, the roof, to support the structural loading for the whole building. So that makes the place much better. And because of the waterfall and because of the biophilic, we also create an indoor microclimate performance, which is better for the people. So I don't know whether you know, some of the seats there are actually providing ventilation underneath. So there is some cooling under the chairs. And yeah, obviously, Changi Airport is one of the examples, but there should be much more examples around the globe. Like just in Hong Kong, we have CG Center, and we have Kai Tak Sports Park, which is really iconic and making our city vibrant, and also looking forward to outside, not just Singapore, but also Dubai. There is a Museum of Future, and these things actually joining the dots around the globe. Not just we always obviously talking about carbon saving, energy saving, but actually making the place more enjoyable and making the people having more energy is also very important.
Okay. Another question is, you know, the Hong Kong flooding management seems quite successful, right? So how can lessons from Hong Kong's flood management inform Belt and Road countries?
Oh yeah, Hong Kong, just quoting what CS said earlier, Hong Kong is actually a pioneer. And not just in the building regulation, building certification, but in terms of climate resilience, we are also a pioneer, I'm sure. Because, okay, everyone knows in 2 years earlier, we had a big flooding. Wong Tai Sin actually really had a really serious flooding that damaged a lot of infrastructure and the shops as well. And yet, the statistic actually quoted the rainstorm in that event actually cost Hong Kong 1.9 billion Hong Kong dollar, to recover the damage. So earlier this year, or actually in current year, we also have the highest number of typhoons. There is another one coming to Hong Kong, right, in this month. And it is actually crazy, and we can see that the climate change going to impact us more and more often, and in more serious kind of impact to us as well. So not just typhoon, not just flooding, but these things actually tell us a lot of lessons. We learn from that, and we actually spending much more money in our infrastructure. So in this current year, actually government spending double the spending on the infrastructure enhancement into 3.9 billion Hong Kong dollar this year in terms of improving the drainage system, in terms of installing more underground kind of flood storage tank to prevent us from the serious damage. And we actually successfully reduced the black spot of the flooding black spot from like nearly 100 black spot to last year down to 4 black spot in Hong Kong. So these kind of lesson learned actually can radiate out to One Belt One Road, other countries as a pioneer, as a lesson learned, and we can share our knowledge, we can share our experience, how we improve our city, and how we do things to prevent the potential climate damage to our properties.
That's great. I understand they also use AI, IoT, and then several government departments work together to control the flooding. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And then the last one, pass to Dennis. Dennis is the CEO and Executive Director of AEC, doing green finance. So Dennis, would you tell us about how about the green finance can go with the green sustainable buildings together?
Okay. Beside me is actually like Surin from DBS and Mr. Zhang from HSBC can be asked during the networking break and lunch. Okay. For me, I think the role of green finance is also is more like market driven, and what we can do because like for green finance we have a very different type of financial product, and basically in the past. It's also new topics. In the past 5-10 years, we follow the taxonomies already developed, and most of them to meet the objective, green objective or social objective, and including the energy saving, renewable energies, green building, and water waste management, blah blah blah, blah, and a lot of them. So one of the roles for green finance to help the project to achieve all those objectives. That's one of the roles of green finance. And the other role of green finance now, in Hong Kong, we already launched our Hong Kong Taxonomy 2A, and that one will be much more on transition financing and fine-tuning of existing taxonomy. And for the existing taxonomy, because in Hong Kong's banking system, most of our loans are collateralized. That means with securities, with some patch of assets. But for transition financing, think about all these financings. Do we really have the collateral or securities to patch? For most of them, no. Yeah. So that's why there's another kind of like additional new angle for the banks to consider, because it's helped the high emissions economies to low emission economy. During this process, they need some capital to make it happen. So the role in transition financing is to help the high emissions company to transit through the transition risk and also to survive. Okay, so that's the another role. The third role, I think, is a bit related to biodiversity and some nature-based solutions. Because in Hong Kong, I don't think we have much of the nature-based solutions happens. I just came back from COP30, and we can see there's a lot of nature-based solutions, and we can see different modes of financing. And from that, I think Hong Kong can have a new role in financing those solutions, because from the example shared in the COP and some of the project location, financing locations, and the funders location are different. So it can be funded by financial from Geneva, and through the UK bank to the project in South America. So that's Hong Kong can do this, right? So that's the new role for green financing in Hong Kong. The fourth one will be we will not just for the green part. We also can do so for social elements. Recently, we helped one bank to finish this social financing, is to finance the simplify housing, yeah, and that one is meet the social needs of the subdivided home people, and also improve the employment rate. Is the other role, and with the closer connections with the Belt and Road countries. Since our company has 5 offices in Asia and 1 in Dubai, and we also tap in some of the Islamic financing framework, and also some new financing structures, and that can help to meet the Islamic financing's purpose. They're even broader, because their objective is more like doing good things. So there are many good things in this world. So so from this you can see we have a bunch of roads for green financing. Yeah.
So wow, it seems we have a lot of you have done a lot for green finance in Hong Kong. Can Hong Kong be a financial hub, international financial hub?
Actually, we will.
We are already.
Just try much greener.
Okay. So how about TNFD application support Belt and Road countries? Can we do that?
I think we need to. We should have some project together with the local bands. Yeah, because I think for TNFD, it help to quantify the numbers for the financial, because we're talking about the same language, talking about dollar amount. Yeah. So from that side, and they can calculate the risk and how much the risk is, the impact is, and then how to reduce it, and what's the capital cost to reduce it, and all kind of things. They will put in considerations. And for us in Hong Kong, we have a pretty good infrastructures. We were already the international finance hub. Everybody knows we can put all the financials and together, and we have a very good legal system, one country, 2 system, and also we have a very good legal framework. And recently, we also established our international mediation centers at Wanjai. So when we sign different agreements with the countries in Asia or Belt and Road countries, probably not all of them are practicing the common law, but most of the countries can adopt common law, like Malaysia, similar use the common law, and even Middle East for the financing transaction in the DIFC, they use common law in that particular areas, and for those companies established in that zone. Yeah, so a special zone for that. And we can see Hong Kong has actually it's like Asia has a lot of nature-based solutions, and also
That's fine.
Okay, and yeah, yeah, and we have a lot of biodiversity project and also carbon credits projects from biodiversity preservations and also some of the nature preservation projects. They need financing as well. So Hong Kong has low currency repatriation. The money can flow out easy as long as meet the AML and anti-money laundering requirement. And so Hong Kong has a very strong on that. And so we have the advantage to help those the nature-based solutions and biodiversity projects to get the financing. Yeah, so it's I think it's it will be the additional role for Hong Kong. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So for the coming 15 minutes, we'll have some course discussion question for you four. So the first one is maybe CS and Patrick, like how can green building standard and community development frameworks complement each other in building up a sustainable urban development?
Okay, thank you, Yvonne. But because I actually move on to what you asked, I want to make some echo to what you said and also to what you said. I am totally optimistic about the future of Hong Kong. I just want to repeat what Lee said many years ago in the memoir. He said, well, at the time when Singapore was being sort of, I would say, move out, I would say banished from the Malaysian Confederation, Lee Kuan Yew cried together with the cabinet. They think that Singapore is now coming to the end, so that end. But fortunately, Singapore proved they actually become more and more vibrant. And Singapore attributes the success of Singapore on two aspects. The number one is language. He said, fortunately, Singapore was a colony of the UK rather than the colony of France. I hope there's no French here, otherwise you will feel very unhappy. I love French, first of all. In particular, French women, very beautiful. All right, and also the cosmetic and also and so forth, wonderful, I tell you what. Of course, don't think, I mean, outside what I say, don't read between the lines. I just mean that, all right? But the thing is, this is what Lee Kuan Yew said. If they actually is, I would say, low French and nothing more, they have to de-learn the French and then pick up English again. Why? Set aside political like or dislike. If you actually try to trade around the world, this is exactly what some people say about 30 years ago. You travel around the world, you just do two things. Number one is English. Number two is US dollar. That's all. You can do whatever you like. Even nowadays, it's still true, whether you like it or not. So therefore, Lee Kuan Yew said, it's because of Singaporean, I would say, well-versed with the English language, making Singapore a very ideal, I would say, marketplace to link up the rest of the world by offering trading service and so on, number one. And number two, at that particular time, the world become open up. That is to say, the world become flat. That's what they say. So the WTO at that point in time, also GATT, the General Agreement on the Tariff and Trade, and eventually turned into the WTO and so on. And therefore, Lee Kuan Yew, everybody knows he is quite arrogant, but at the same time, nobody knows how humble he is. You see, not because we are particular sort of strong, but because we are well positioned with these two elements. One is outside, the international trade. Another one is actually the language. And because of this, Lee Kuan Yew, when I was in Singapore in 1980, this is what he said on the stage. He said, well, look, we have to make Singapore a service hub for the region and also for the rest of the world because we are well positioned, geographically, language, culture, and so on. So Hong Kong is very much like that. You know that I'm also not an engineer alone, I'm also a lawyer. You know? So one youngster asked me, what's the point to study English law here in Hong Kong? It's already year 2025. So once I graduate 5 years from now, it's only 20 years for my career. I said, forget it. I dare to say, Hong Kong remain the same, using the English law, the common law, I think at least for the next 50 or more years. Because there are two things you need to do business. Number one is language, you know that, right? The number two is the business agreement. I dare to say the common law it seems to be a common legal language. Unlike the continental law, you ask me, I'm a common law lawyer. If I study German law, and I have no idea about French law, because they're all made by the legislative council and legislative body. But common law based on principle, based on custom, which actually becomes sort of, I would say, common ground. So I dare to say, even I do not practice in Malaysia, but I think it takes a short while for me to pick up what they're doing, because, well, in Hong Kong, when we go to the law court, so we tell my lordship, I say, Lord, we're going to rely on authority, which is actually in Malaysia. Of course, it's not binding, but highly persuasive. But because of this, I say Hong Kong is well positioned. So therefore, you never know how good you are in actually bringing, I would say, our service out of Hong Kong and bring our service into Hong Kong, into mainland. And number two, look at China, so economy over the last 50 years. So it is not by accident. It is by design, right? So as long as the designers remain, I would say, good enough, I have no doubt. Therefore, I say I'm not preaching politically, but I say, whether you like it or not, that is the situation. I want to echo on this one. And number two is about green building now. I'm so sorry. I think that is important. Because I teach in university, I spend most of the time on concept rather than on something contextual and so on. So I think that is important. If you understand the fundamental, then your direction is very clear. Now, I come to the question, the narrower one, about the green building, the community. So if you look at the design of the green building tool, now this is the thing conceptually I want to, again, emphasize. Nowadays, most of you, when I talk to the financial people, they're only focused singly on energy. In actual fact, look at the Mother Nature. Energy is very important, but I tell you what, after the year 2050, when all the energy become green, and then energy management and saving of energy become meaningless on the protection of the environment, it becomes an economic consideration only. It's a finance consideration. Now, my estimation of 3 or 4 years ago, without bothering what happened now, I estimate, because if you generate 1 unit of electricity using coal, it's only 50 cents. You can ask the CLP. It may be changing a bit nowadays. Nuclear energy, 80 cents. What about natural gas? $1.20. If you add on the transmission cost, the service cost, and so on, if you use natural gas without using hydrogen, the bill will go up to $2 already per unit, you see? So therefore, it's an economic consideration. But now, yes, it's the most important one in order to bring down the carbon content. But that is a transient sort of focus. So many people now lost sight about what green building is. Green building is not solely about energy saving and carbon emission. We have to make a balance. Let's put it in this way. We are all children of the nature. And nature nurtures all the human beings and make us wise and capable. And now we become so arrogant. We think we can change our mother nature. So it is time for us to go back to our home, go back to the nature. What nature wants, not just energy saving. Nature wants biodiversity. Nowadays, 1 million species is at the edge of extinction already. I dare to say, even you save all the energy, once those kind of animals, even big and small, even microorganisms, if they die, our survival will be doubtful. So therefore, I always say, when we do green building, we do everything. Now, I come back to the question. I'm so sorry. The question about how we actually, I would say, benefit the community and so on. Well, you look at the green building assessment tool we are using, which is, I would say, all-embracing, including energy, water, gas, air. We are also not concerned just about narrowly how good our occupant is in the building, but we also care about the impact of our building on the surrounding. So we really want that to say, once you use a green building standard, you'll not just benefit the occupier, the realty developer, and so on, but also all those surrounding your, I would say, the building, in your community, they also benefit at the same time. Now, this is the thing we want, all right? This is exactly what Chinese say, 獨樂樂不如眾樂樂. That to say, you enjoy the music yourself. It's not as good you have the whole people enjoy the music at the same time. So that is a philosophy. So I keep on saying this. So therefore, the answer to your question is very simple. If we adopt whether BEAM plus 2 or LEAD, we do not exclusive. We do not hold exclusive will. Our mission is very simple, make the world green. Whether, for example, you practice yoga, you practice Tai Chi Chuan, you practice boxing, if you make you healthy, that's good enough. But of course, as the one who actually produced the BEAM, we always tell you that it is something which is so compatible with the tropical and the Hong Kong area. And also, we are always humble enough to a customer to suit your requirement, whether Middle East or so on. So that is our stand. So we welcome you usually or whatever, because I look at them. Because every few years, we do benchmarking. By comparing our standard with their standard, we learn. There's no, I would say, always good thing to learn from. This is exactly what I told myself, using Chinese first. 好嘅嘢影印都嫌遲. If there's something good, then even using photocopy is too slow. Glance it and remember and copy. This is exactly what Joe and I said many years ago. You know, at a very difficult time in China. At that point in time, we talked to Tsinghua Research. They tell you what, two things the country wants you to bear in mind. Number one, no matter how poor we are, we always get the best journal from the rest of the world for you to learn. And number two, copy and then improve is not a monopoly of Japanese. Chinese can do it and even do it better. So I always bear these two statements by our premier some 40 years ago. This is what I told myself all the time. Copy is the key, but at the same time, improve. So look at WeChat and WhatsApp. Look at AMAP and I would say Google. You see? So therefore, we actually copy and learn from other tools. So we do not exclusive. Our mission is very simple, make it green. So therefore, by doing this, by following our tool, I can guarantee you that you are not just only a happy guy, and all the rest surrounding the community will be happy. So I actually thanks to you for using our global tool, the first one. I also thank to you on the 2nd of January, the year 2018, when I launched the Green Finance Scheme. Swire, again, is the first one who actually using our scheme to raise green money. So he tell you, how good it is by partnering with us. And we do not make money out of you. I give you money. All right, remember this.
Okay, is there any response from Patrick?
We can continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can continue to listen to the wisdom of CS for longer. Yeah, but thank you. But your question more from my perspective to interpret your question, right? How can green building standard and community development framework complement each other? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, what sort of things that green building standard doesn't help us to do, right? And I think it's very limited, right? So as you mentioned, it's all comprehensive and on green buildings. If I can, try to go a little bit further to propose 1 to 2 areas that green building standard could start to develop. I think on nature, I guess on the direct operation building level is spot on, is all inclusive. But I guess in the TNFD framework, I think a lot of analysis that a corporate need to do is down to your supply chain. So how companies, currently building developer, evaluate your nature impact and dependencies from your construction material sourcing, concrete, steel, sand, gravel, all the works that were due to your procurement of these materials, the nature degradation impact that costs to the broader environment that maybe in Belt and Road countries, right? Mm-hmm. How can developers can be advised being steered to better assess, evaluate those impacts up to the value chain? I guess is critical important, and how the green building scheme can be further strengthened to encourage more developers to procure construction materials to start with lower nature impact that is measured, validated independently. I guess this is things like we should go beyond just climate, carbon, right? And also go beyond qualitative to quantitative terms that is being audited. And then, of course, the green financiers will be able to, also build green financing solutions addressing that based on validated data. I guess it would be one area that I would love to propose to discuss. Another area, of course, is the broader impact on society. I guess green buildings, despite you got it, it's difficult to prove that you have a good social value creation and social maybe broader term, social economic value. So from our perspective, we have been working with a couple of University of Hong Kong and also Tsinghua University. We have a customized places impact framework that helps us to do exactly that. We try to measure places impact in social economic terms in areas like livelihood that we bring it in, the vibrancy that we bring to the area, and also resilience that we bring to the area, and lastly on social and well-being that we bring to the area. We try to attempt to try to quantify those, but it's difficult. Sometimes it's very difficult to quantify some, how resilient you are, well-being, how to that translate into financial value. So this is just a first attempt, and we have that framework published on our website, Places Impact Report. But I guess those are the areas that I would really want to have the experts, of course. On the green building standard, when you go into the community set of framework, neighborhood, how the social and economic impact could be evaluated by the project applicant. I think that would actually help to go beyond just climate, currently mainly environmental terms, into broader sustainability impact to the broad, of course, Belt and Road and this part of the value chain. I think it's all relevant and connected. Thank you.
Thanks, CS and Patrick. And I also want to supplement a little bit, like CS mentioned about the English standard. Last week, Swire just announced that our English standard is lower than before. Yeah, so we have to how to increase it, number one. And number two, for GBA award, in fact, we also insert UNSDG goals, the 17 goals into the green buildings. So it's also not only just green energy, safe energy. We're also concerned about UNSDG mentioning about society and community. Okay, so still have one question for Dennis and also for Jason. How do engineering solutions and financing model work together to make projects bankable and resilient? Is there any comments on it?
I think new technology also new financings and capital deployments to make it happen. And you can see from the developments of like solar. China pour lots of capital into the solar or renewable energy projects. And last year, it becomes the world's largest capital deployments to renewable energies, and cumulatively is the second one, and the first one will be is the U.S. So a lot of tech, no matter it's like hard tech, like renewable energies, or even some energy efficiency monitoring, AI applications on and all these, and they also need some the capital market support to make it faster or to make it in large scale to scale up. So that's why I see this. And for some on the other hand, I think for the Belt and Road initiative in those Asia's countries, some of them has a very high interest rates, like some of them like 6 to 8 or 8 to 12 or 12 to 15 from different countries. So but Hong Kong is about like 5 and China about 4 point something. And in Hong Kong we can do some cross-border financings, and or even we can did the financing in Hong Kong and ingest to other countries companies as pure equity, and it saves a lot of interest costs, and it helps the engineering firms to develop the new solutions and all this. Yeah, one thing about.
Thank you, Dennis. I've been thinking about what we hear from the wisdom from CS and also Patrick, obviously. A lot of good things we hear from this conversation, obviously. I believe all of you agree. Things like energy, carbon, we've been talking about it for decades. And CS pointed out it very correctly that we have to focus on people. People is the core of built environment. So as I said earlier, engineering is like a piece of puzzle, to enable the vision to be turned to reality. So we've been talking energy, carbon, water, but what's next? I think it should be people, climate, and nature. So how these three things can link together and be realized in the built environment is actually a collaboration between different parties, like architects, from what Yvonne's practice. Green financing is a motivation and a major force. And from the BEAM Plus, like green building certification scheme, giving us a direction or guideline, and obviously with the developer like Swire helping us to pull the team together and to give the world different examples for them to copy and improve, right? So these are the main things that we think, which is not just building for next generation, as what CS says, and this is actually building for this generation because once the buildings or built environment is built, it is lasting for 60 years or even more. So we've been doing very well in Hong Kong, to be honest. We have nature-based solution. We have those kind of climate resilience measure being in place. And Taikoo did a really good job in terms of our diversity in Taikoo Place, giving us not just microclimate, but also a really comfortable environment for us to enjoy outdoor. So in the old days, we're spending like 90% of our time indoors. But now, because of the nature, we are willing to have our lunch maybe outside, right? But the key thing is that we have to make sure that our outdoor space is safe, is comfortable, so that we can enjoy more the nature.
Thank you, Jason. We run out of time, but we have a last question for you all. Is if you could recommend one key action to accelerate sustainable urban development in Belt and Road countries, what would it be? So maybe Jason? Or anyone? Yeah.
As I said, we have to shift our focus from not just energy carbon, but into people-centric design. So this is my key message.
Thank you. How about Patrick?
I think in Belt and Road countries, it's more important that you work with the government because, a lot of things are related to the infrastructure design. When we have some development there, the climate resilience issue, there's also the availability of, greenery space is always very common in there. So you have to really sort of navigate these agenda, and it's important that you get the, government collaborations on the data sharing, on also the design in a city level. I guess that will be very important for the industry.
That's great. How about CS?
Well, I hope all the Belt and Road countries, they will bear in mind one thing. They are developing countries, whereas we are already developed economy. But throughout the course, you know what happened nowadays. We make a lot of mistakes. So my advice to them is very simple. Don't try to change the nature, but just follow the nature. That's to say, starting from the very beginning, don't think that I can do the development and then abuse my mother nature. And afterwards, I go back to knock the door, all right, and confess, and then to do redemption. I think it's just too late. There's no time already. So therefore, my advice is very simple. Just cope and follow and in harmony with the nature, no matter what you do. So these are only guiding principle. Whether you do green, BEAM, or whatever, just look at what is the result of what you're doing. Is it compatible with nature? That's it.
Thanks, yes. It's our architectural design concept.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Passive design.
How about Dennis?
I think the most important thing is communications and we to communicate with the countries and know about their cultures, religions, laws, and regulations because they have their local know-how, and we can rely on this and also use our experience to make it better. But one of the examples, like we in our Malaysia office, that we got the first Green RE 2.0 interior, and also we won the office interiors award in their green building competitions. So that's how we use the local standards, know about the local standard, and make it better and practice in our office, and so demonstrates our strength in that. Yeah.
Well, thanks for speakers, and I can sum up that they have the experience, and actually in Hong Kong, we have no doubt to be the service hub and financial hub. So let us thanks for the speaker, and also thanks for your attention attending this section 2. Let us. Thank you.
Thanks to our moderator and the panelists for showcasing the best practices of green building construction and also sustainable urban development in Hong Kong, which the Belt and Road countries may take reference of. So would you please come forward for a group photo? Thank you very much, and please be seated.